Hey guys, welcome to my kitchen. I thought it might be fun to do some sort of baking demos. So I'm no Mary Berry, so you're gonna have to bear with me. But I do enjoy making birthday cakes for my kids, so that's all my sort of baking skills are, okay? So I'm gonna go through with you how I would make a chocolate fudge cake, all right? The reason I've chosen chocolate fudge cake is because that is the cake my son has chosen, because tomorrow will be his 14th birthday, okay? So he wants a chocolate fudge cake, so I'm gonna have fun with you preparing a chocolate fudge cake and showing you guys how to make one, okay? So again, this is a disclaimer, I am no Mary Berry, all right? So bear with me, it may get messy, it may get a bit funky, but anyone who knows me know that that's all part of who I am anyway. All right, so let's have a think about what our ingredients are going to be. So I have measured all mine out to start with because, you know, I'm trying to be a bit of a pro, but it just makes it a bit easier to demonstrate. So let's go through. We have got 150 grams of self-raising flour. No, actually that's a lie. We've got 175 grams of self-raising flour. We have got 150 grams of caster sugar, 2 large heaped tablespoons of cocoa powder or 25 grams, however you want to mix that, 2 large eggs. You're going to need a teaspoon of bicarb of soda. You will need 150 ml of vegetable oil or sunflower oil, not olive oil. You'll need a full bar of 70% dark chocolate, okay, you can get that from anywhere or use whichever brand you want. You're going to need 150 ml of semi-skimmed milk, a whole tin of carnation caramel, and just a little bit of vanilla essence, just to add a bit more flavour as well. Okay, so that's all the ingredients you need, and I did post the ingredients earlier, so hopefully you'll have got all that ready. If not, you'll have to just pause this at certain times just so that you can catch up with where we are in making it and putting it together. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so as you can see here, we're going to need 2 baking tins as well, and I'll explain that bit a bit later on. All right, so I need 2 bowls before we get started. So excuse my bowl drawer. You're going to need a large bowl and a kind of medium-sized bowl, okay? One bowl we're going to put our dry mixture into. The second bowl we're going to put our runny stuff. All right, so let's start with our dry ingredients first. So I'm going to bring it all over here so I don't forget to put anything in. So I've got my self-raising flour, I've got my caster sugar and my cocoa powder. Okay, so they're all going to go in together. And also my bicarb, all right, so I've still got to measure that one out. So you're going to need a sieve. If you want to have a look here, these are sort of the utensils I'll be using. Got a whisk, a wooden spoon, and then just a few teaspoons just to help me mix things and get things out. All right, so first of all, we're going to need our large bowl and our sieve. All right, so sieve over the bowl, and then you want to get your self-raising flour and just plonk that in like so. Okay. Give it a good shake so you're making sure you've got no big bits of flour and it's all nice and smooth like so. Okay, sieve back on. We're going to get our cocoa powder and exactly the same. Give it a good tap, make sure you've got it all in there. None of it goes to waste. Again, give it a good shake, making sure you're getting everything in there. When you get your little bits like that, that's absolutely fine. Just give it a bit of a squash with the end of your spoon, or the flat part of your spoon, to make sure you've got it all in. All right? We're looking okay so far? Yeah? If I'm going too fast, I do apologise, but guys, with your little fingers and your little hands preparing, feel free to pause at any time, okay, and keep up. That's for my little guys, not my big guys. Okay, so next we're going to put in our caster sugar. We don't need to sieve that, so just whack all that in there. That's 150 grams of caster sugar. And last but not least is our 1 teaspoon of bicarb of soda. Okay, oh, let's get it out. So normally when I'm baking at home, I would have some music on in the background to entertain myself and having a bit of a groove as I'm baking along. But because we're going to put this on Facebook and they keep muting all our videos, I thought it would best to just hear my voice. So I am sorry, you've just got me for the foreseeable future as we bake together. Okay, so once we've got all our ingredients together, we can just put that to the side and we'll come back to that later. Alright, so I'm going to get my medium bowl and I'm going to start putting all my runny sort of wet mixture together. Alright, so we'll start with our oil. No, actually let's start with our milk. So we get 150 ml of semi-skimmed milk, just whack that into the bowl. Then we're going to add 150 ml of vegetable oil. Okay, it did have a few little bits in there, but that's because I pre-measured my milk, so don't think that I'm using rancid oil. It is all okay, guys. Alright, so that's my oil and my milk. So next I'm going to need to plonk in my eggs. Okay, so this is the fun part, especially if we're baking with our little ones. So if the little ones want to have a go, that's great. Just make sure and be mindful that we're not getting any bits of the shell into the mixture, because that will be a bit crunchy and it might make our poos a bit funky. Alright, so we need to make sure when we're cracking the eggs in, we're just getting the yolk, alright, and the egg whites in there. Alright, so 1, 2, voila. Alright, so before we give that a mix, let me just get a bit of kitchen roll just to dry my hands. Alright, so next we're going to put in a little bit of vanilla essence just to flavour it up a little bit, okay? So I'm not measuring it out, it's just a bit of a guesstimate. Just pour a little bit in like so, and that will do, alright? Next we're going to put some of our carnation caramel in, okay? So 2 big tablespoons will be enough. Let's see, so I've got my little measuring spoon here. So I'm not being too worried about how much. You can see it's going round, that's absolutely fine. So we've got 1, let's get our next one, 2. So carnation caramel goes in like so. You could also do this with golden syrup if you wish, but I think it tastes much nicer with the caramel. Okay, put that to one side. There we go. So we've got all our mixture. Let's just have a check over here, make sure we've put everything in. So for now we'll be using the chocolate bar and a bit more vanilla essence and a bit more of our carnation caramel when we decorate the cake, okay? And that will be the little bit of fudge that goes in the middle of the 2 layers and that goes all the way around and that we can use to decorate. That's what gives it that really nice flavour, especially when you're warming it up to eat it later on. Okay, so let's have a look at our 2 mixtures. So let's just give our dry mix a good mix, like so, to make sure everything's together before we add our wet mixture to it. Alright, so that'll do. Let's just pour it together like so. With our wet mix, we're going to use our whisk and just mix all of that together. Okay, it may take a while, so a bit of patience is what we need. Alright, like so. You will find that the caramel doesn't mix or just sort of melt into the mixture. That's perfectly okay if you've got little lumps of caramel. Don't be worrying too much about that. Just make sure you're giving it a good mix and it's all come together. So as you can see, it's got little clumps of caramel in it. That's absolutely okay. No worries there. So we're going to add it to our dry mix. So just make a little bit of a well in the middle. Not the best well, but that'll do. And just add some of your wet mix first so that we can bring that together, make a bit of a paste before we add the rest of it. Okay. So whenever I'm mixing, it always takes me back to when I was a child and I used to do baking with my grandma, especially in the holidays. And my grandma made the best Madeira cakes. So, I'm really sad because she used to measure it all out using cups, and I don't remember how she used to do it, and I can't find her recipes. So mine is never as good as my grandma's when I make a Madeira cake, or at least never as good as I remember it. So when I was little and it came to this bit, mixing it, I was always scared because it was so hard to mix it. And it used to take me ages, and my grandma would be like, keep going, you're strong enough, you can do it. But I used to hate it. I was so frustrated. I just wanted to get to the eating bit or dipping my finger in it. So have a little patience, especially when you've got little children, younger children trying to mix it. It's going to be harder. And my grandma always seemed like a superhero because she'd just come in, get it, mix it, just a few mixes, and it were all together, and she made it look really easy. So now as an adult, I always remember that because mixing it doesn't seem half as hard as it does for when my kids were little and they used to struggle. I'm like, I remember my grandma being the superhero, and now it's my turn. So let's add the rest of our wet mix, and it'll make it a lot easier to mix it together. And don't forget, you can see the little bits of caramel like so. That's okay because it will come together as we mix it all as a whole cake batter. All right, so we're gonna have to use a bit of power here. This is the bit that helps with our bingo wings, albeit in one arm, but you know, if we're strong in one arm, it's all good, innit? So let's give it a good mix and a good stir. Don't worry if you end up with half of it on your table, although if you end up with half of it on your table, you might be in trouble because you won't have your cake. So little bits are okay. Half a cake on your table is not going to be the best. All right, so keep going, using your muscle, get right in there. Try and make sure you're getting all the bits in the bottom so it's all mixed together. And it will end up looking like so. So it's quite a runny batter, all right? It's not a thick one. Some cakes are runny, some cakes are not so runny. This one, because it's a fudge, it's going to be a bit more of a moist, bouncy cake, so you want it to be a nice wet, runny batter. Okay, so we're using our 2 tins. I'm doing it as 2 tins because, like I said earlier, the best bit about this is having a bit of the chocolate fudgy in the middle when it comes to decorating your cake. So it's good to have 2 tins, 2 mixes. If you want to just do it as one cake, you want to just make it as a chocolate cake, that's entirely up to you. But you will miss out on that fudgy bit in the middle when it comes to decorating later. So we're just going to pour the mix in evenly, dividing it. Alright, so not measuring it out, we're just guesstimating, which is perfectly fine. If you've got, you can see I've used these grease-proof fillers. They're much easier, but if not, don't worry. You can just grease your your tins, using some butter spread around it or some oil. But I like to use these grease-proof because it's totally less mess and just doesn't stick. And you know you're going to get your cake straight out. So waste not, want not, guys, because we are in a pandemic, and as we all know, flour is scarce, so we want to make sure we're using it all in our cake. Okay, so use the flat of your spoon, just to make sure you're getting it all off of your wooden spoon. Like so. So we've now got 2 chocolate mixes, and I've got it all over my hands, which is fab. Right, so we need to put these in the oven now to bake, as you can see they're both even. And make sure. So it's going to go straight in our oven over here. Follow me. Let's move that out of the way. So I haven't preheated, but I'm going to turn the oven on. I'm going to put it on 160, about 160. That's for a fan. I'm sorry, I really don't have a clue if you don't have a fan. Again, I'm not Mary Berry. So put one of your cakes at the top, one at the bottom of the oven. You can halfway through if you want to swap them over, so one's on the top, one's on the bottom, mixing it round. I don't, I just leave them both like that. Close your oven door, and you're just going to put it on for 26 minutes, okay? And then we'll have a look and see what that's like after 26 minutes. Oh, start again. Oh dear. There we go, 26 minutes. So guys, I will see you in 26 minutes. Bye. Okay, here we go. Let's have a look, see how it's turned out. Okay. So, just going to have a feel on top, and you're wanting it to just be nice and bouncy, like so, so you know it's ready. Just put that one there. Don't worry about the shape of them, we can sort that out. So, what we need to do is we're going to just leave it to cool. We can't do anything with that until it's cooled properly, alright? So, see you again in a few minutes. Welcome back! Okay, so whilst we've been waiting, our cakes have cooled. They're nice and cool now to touch. I've taken one from the greaseproof paper, put it on this tray, and I've just sliced the top of it to try and make it a bit more level. Anyone who's had any of my cakes before will know that they usually end up looking like the Leaning Tower of Pisa, which is fine because it all goes down the same hole and it all tastes the same and it tastes yummy, 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 I promise. Okay, so we're going to decorate it now. So over on my hob, I have melted the chocolate, the remainder of the carnation caramel, and I just popped a little bit of the vanilla essence in. Okay, so kind of a bit like, here's one I made earlier, but it's literally just finished melting and it looks like that. Okay, it's a nice consistency. So just dry that up there. So I'm going to pour a layer straight on to the top bit. That's going to be the bottom part of my chocolate fudge cake. Okay, this is the bottom layer. So I need to put some of the fudge sauce onto the middle. Okay, just smoulder it on like so. Now this is a fun bit for your little ones. Let them get involved. Spreading in the chocolate, make as much mess as they want. Try and make sure that you get plenty of this chocolate fudge mix into the centre of your cake, because that will give it that really yummy taste, especially if you're going to heat it up like me and my kids like to do to eat it. Alright, now I'm not making any promises here guys, alright, this is not going to look the best, but it will taste yummy, alright. So I have asked my son how he wanted it decorating. He would like chocolate fingers and some aero bubbles. So I've gone for some white chocolate fingers and some milk chocolate fingers. Okay, so we're just gonna spread them around the sides of the cake. So I'll get them out of the boxes so it's easier when it gets time to putting them out. And obviously, if you're like me, you're going to be eating quite a few of these as you go along. All good, don't worry about that. Let's just make sure that we save enough for our cake. Helps if you use what's there for you. Right, so I think we've got enough in our middle bit, okay? And I'm going to just plonk the top bit on. Alright, so this is, and don't worry that it's not an even shape. If you are conscious about that and you want it to look perfect, then you can chop, slice a bit off the top of that as well to make it even. I'm not really bothered because the way I'll present it is full of chocolate, and I'll put the happy birthday bit on this slightly looking up, so I'll make it work. I'm really not fussed. Right, so we're just going to get the remainder of our melted chocolate mix, just put it on the top of the cake like so. We need to be mindful that we need to spread it around the sides as well, alright? So if your little ones are helping out, make sure there's enough left over so that you can get it around the sides as well, because that's how we're going to get our chocolate fingers to stay on, okay? Don't worry about getting it on your tray, you can tidy all that up later. It's not about looking perfect, again it's more about what it tastes like. And surely you've got the same values as me on that, as long as you've got a yummy cake at the end. Doesn't matter what it looks like, it's all good in the hood. Right. I think I just went a bit crazy in the middle and don't seem to have much left. I promise I didn't eat it all. I promise it did go in the middle of the cake and not in my belly. But you can't test me on that. There's no way of finding out. Right, so tricky bit now. So because I'm running out of a mixture, I'm gonna have to improvise a bit, which usually happens when I'm trying to attempt to decorate a cake. It's defo not my forte. If you are wanting a perfect looking cake, then I suggest for this bit you follow someone else, because it ain't me, guys. Oh dear. So as long as we've got enough to try and mould on our chocolate fingers, it will all be fine, I promise you. Alright, so I'll turn this round a bit so you can see that I've tried to get it all around all the sides. Okay? Still got some, I'm still working with this, I'm going to make it work. we will have enough in the end. How are your cakes getting on? That's the important thing. Don't worry too much about mine. Right. There we go. It's making me hungry. And I've got to wait till tomorrow to eat this, so a bit mortified right now. The reality is sinking in. But it's always better. I don't know what you think, but the day after when you've baked a cake always tastes better that day after. Especially the golden syrup styles. Yum, 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 yum. Okay, so decorating. So this is meant to be the fun bit. This is the bit that stresses me out because I just don't have any skills when it comes to this bit. But we keep smiling. So I'm going to put my chocolate fingers all the way around. This is where I hope that I've got enough. And if not, do you know what, guys? I'm just going to start spacing it out a bit more and try again. Okay? So don't worry too much about presentation unless you are a perfectionist and you want it to be amazeballs. Then, like I said before, you're following the wrong person, guys. You need to be YouTubing someone else. Not that I'm on YouTube, but you know. Stop laughing at me, Ariel. Right, so it's looking alright so far. Just remember to keep your stripy pattern. So what I've done in the past, I've not gone along with chocolate fingers. You can use anything to decorate. I'm just doing this because it hides the imperfections from around the side. Really clever tip. But I have covered my cake in Maltesers before. Aero bubbles like I'm going to put on the top of this one. Twirl pieces, or just lots more chocolate if you have enough of that. Okay, so this is our end result, just putting the fingers around. And then you can literally just put anything anywhere, alright, just make it look fun. Obviously this is your cake, you can do what you want with it and decorate it in any way, shape or form, alright. So just plonk these around very sporadically, not pretending to be anything I'm not. And it's always quite fun to see kids' reactions when they see what you've done. Alright, so we'll just whap that there. I will decorate that with candles, but we've got one there to show you. So this is our completed chocolate fudge cake. So tomorrow when we sing happy birthday, we're going to slice into this. And you can either enjoy it cold as it comes, leave it overnight with foil around it, or put it into a cake tin overnight, and just keep doing that so you can keep it and you can keep eating it. But what we like to do, me and my kids, is we slice it up, whap it in the microwave for 20 seconds, and then pour over some double cream or some squirt cream, whichever you prefer, and it's scrumptious. Okay, it's better melted than it is cold. Alright, so guys, I hope you've enjoyed that. Give me some feedback, let me know, and I hope you have fun in your own homes cooking your own chocolate fudge cake. And if you do, please send me in some pictures of you enjoying it and having fun as you're baking together as well in your own kitchens. Alright, and I'll try again next time. See ya! Bye!